Hi guys. So I have been painting. I kind of have paint all over me. I'm at the shop. I have been working on the Portuguese style hutch, and you know, the colors that I'm have been working on, and with this is non-traditional. So like reds and greens, and I've got like some turquoise blues and like dark sea blues and yellows, and I'm coming in with some corals and different colors, and it's so vibrant. And when I think of, like, to me honestly it's like it could fall under boho category, but to me it's very Mediterranean, and Mediterranean covers, from France to Spain to Portugal to Italy to like Turkey and Greece, and like this, just a whole big long trail of countries with have so much like rich culture, and their cultures are grounded in lots of colors and deep pigments, and it really isn't the farmhouse white on white that we see here or in the States, or the traditional brown wood everywhere. Like, that's such an American thing, but that's really not everywhere. Like, it's predominantly like across the world. Like, there's people, many of the cultures love lots of color, and I feel like in the States, we're just kind of catching on to that, for like and there has been some people, of course, that's always loved color and always use color here, but like, just like, we're starting to see more and more people use color, and not everything is browns and tans and taupes and neutrals. And I like a lot of neutrals, and I like some white on white things a little bit, but it's how we think of. And I guess maybe I know video is going to be about shipping, but I wanted to share this with you too. When you're painting furniture, and if you're thinking about like selling on Etsy, and of course you probably are if you're watching this, because this is a shipping video, and it's going to be, it's under the entrepreneur level on Patreon. But if you're painting, like, you want to paint something vibrant or bold or unique or very different, or experiment with something, I just want to remind you that, like, I don't know what your nationality is, but I think for a lot of you, are not everybody, but a lot of you are just Americans. You're used to the typical traditional American culture in furniture and interior design, home design. And so, but I want you to know that there are people of many different cultures in the United States and ethnic backgrounds who shop on Etsy, and who buy things on Etsy, and who spend a lot of money on things, on furniture that they want on Etsy. And for us Etsy sellers, in some cases, I think, those are entire demographics that we're missing by doing the very commercialized, plain, and I don't necessarily mean plain things. I've seen some very simple taupe colored, beige colored, gray colored, blue colored painted pieces, and I've done some of those that I think are beautiful that people have done. But there are demographics and cultures out there of people who want to buy something that represents their culture. And for me, I'm painting this Portuguese style, but I know that it's going to appeal to like Southwest people, live in like Mexican styles, people who live in like Arizona and New Mexico, Southern California, really love that kind of deserty type of look. I know that this will appeal to a lot of people in like New Orleans and Louisiana and the Deep South, for like that vibrant French Quarter culture. I mean, there's people that love or is always looking for those vibrant jewel tone colors. This, I think, will appeal to a lot of, like, my husband is Puerto Rican. It'll appeal to a lot of like Hispanics and Latinos, and just it's unlimited, really. I mean, when we do, and I was even thinking today while I was painting it, I'm like, this kind of, to me, in a way, has a little bit of a South African feel to it. And I started thinking about my missionary friend, Pam, who is going to Burundi, Africa. She's been in Tanzania for 4 years. And because our furniture business has done so well, we're able to be monthly financial partners to help her take the gospel to other countries, and to be able to go, and she's like helping women learn how to teach and be leaders, and it's amazing. Excuse me, I have bronchitis. I was a doctor yesterday, and I'm a little bit away from pneumonia, so I'm still working. But I'm on prednisone, and if you've been on prednisone, you kind of like gives you a lot of energy, which I need, because for 3 days in a row, I was on the sofa and I would like get up and walk to the sink to get some water, and it would like wear me out. So if I'm like sound a little sick, I'm a little bit sick. I'm getting better. I'm on a lot of medication. So anyway, painting this hutch, it has like very Spanish Portuguese style hutch, has made me think of that. And I used up almost 7 minutes of that telling you, this video telling you that. But I did want to share that with you. Painting things for people in other cultures is, like, just put that in your back pocket. You know what I mean? Like, realize that there are people of a lot of different cultures out there who are looking for furniture that represents their style. And so if you want to do some experimenting, by all means, have at it. I think you would really be onto something. And it's fun to do something outside of the mainstream. Yes. So there's that. Okay, I think what I want to talk about tonight is, I want to share with you the most important thing that I've learned, most important thing, like in my mind, that I've learned about shipping. And it is this: shipping is like the weather. That's the truth. And I think this is really important for you to know. Shipping furniture, we live in Missouri, and our weather will change from day to day and week to week, and sometimes hour to hour. It literally can be, it just up and down. And it's December 2nd or 3rd today. I think it's the 3rd. And it was 80 degrees today. Crazy, and in a couple of days, who knows, it could be 20. It's up and down. And so wherever you live, I know that is not just in Missouri, it's in a lot of places. So wherever you're at, I think that's, you've probably experienced that for sure. And so how the weather changes, it doesn't stay the same. Shipping is like that too. When I just make this a quick rundown, but I started my Etsy shop late May, like the last week of May of 2020. So it's been a little over about a year and a half for me, a little over 18 months, and really started, it's been right at 18 months. So really started, like, I counted the first week of June. I think my first, whenever it was, I opened like late May, but about first week of June is when I'm really counting it, my start date. And so, my first armoire, I put an armoire on Etsy, and I think it was like 3 weeks and it sold. And I paid, so I looked up U-Ship, I put in the average. It was a big armoire, not as big as like my Lovebirds and the huge French ones, but it was probably a 400-pound armoire. I Googled what's the weight of an average dresser. It was like 265, something like that. And I'm like, this is much heavier than the average dresser. So I put 400 pounds. I just really wanted to be more and not less. And I wanted them to know, this isn't a semi-light thing. It's really heavy so they can come prepared. Like that I'm getting the right shippers and know how to deal with something really heavy. But anyway, it cost me $400. That went to San Francisco. So from southern Missouri, near Branson, it cost me $400 to ship it to San Francisco. Today, when I ship things to California, it cost me about $950. 18 months later, 900, like from 400 to 950. I will say that 400 was even kind of cheap for that time because it was a new shipper and I really didn't know not to trust new shippers. I don't now, but he did a good job. It arrived, the customer was happy, and I kind of lucked out. Now I don't take on new shippers unless I do I will vet them thoroughly, like talk to them at length, ask them a bunch of questions, try to seek out references. And I really go off of what kind of vibe that I have. And then I make sure I get the insurance. And when I've done that, I shipped 2 of my big armoires, brand new shipper. He's like, I'm a retired Marine, would love to deliver these to you. I don't have any, I'm brand new on new ship. And I was like, ugh, it was like almost $6,000 in armoires, 2 armoires going from Missouri to Arizona. And it was at that time my biggest order that I had shipped out. And I'm like, this is a brand new shipper. And so I called the customer and I texted her and I said, Teresa, his brand new shipper, I do have a good feeling about it. I mean, he gave me his life story and where he lived and what he'd been doing, his experiences and why he started shipping. And I'm like, okay. He sent me pictures of his truck and his trailer and all of this. And I'm like, well, he's really given me a lot of information, and that's a nugget. Look for shippers who have a lot of information on UShip when it comes time for you to choose a shipper. Check out their profile. Don't just do they have pictures? Is there information about them? The good shippers have a lot of information. They fill in all the boxes and they tell you about them, just like how I want you to do if you have an Etsy store. Tell your customers about you. Give them something to relate to connect to. Like they want to know who you are. Who are they doing business with? Who are they going to pay who are they paying $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000? They're giving you that much money. And before they do, they want to know a little about you. So filling out all your Etsy boxes is important. But this guy, Jeremy, had sent me all of this information. And I was like, well, I had a really good feeling about him. And so I texted my customer and I'm like, he's brand new shipper, but I have a good feeling about him. I really vetted him pretty well. And she goes, that's fine. Just, if you have a good feeling, I trust you, Casey, but go ahead and and they have to be insured. And I'm like, you got it. So I paid the insurance and we shipped and it was fine. And then after that, Jeremy started shipping for me right and left throughout the whole year. But I want to go back to the change. So in June of 2020, shipping an armoire cost him $400. The rest of the year, I don't know, I can't remember how many things I was selling. Sold one or two things a month, something like that in 2020 on average. And then, and I was just getting started. And when you start out, it is a little slow going at first, but once you begin selling, people see that you're having sales, you're starting to build items in your shop, you're starting to put up, if you choose, do custom order listings, examples of that, or just examples of your work. It begins to build momentum, and that's very helpful. But at the first of 2021, from June of 2020, so last summer, through the first of 2021, shipping was fairly, it was a lot, just put it simply, it was a lot cheaper than what it is now. When you would Google or not Google, but do you ship an average price? I was paying the average prices. Now I'm paying much more than that. And here's why, is that a lot of people, here's why I think why. A lot of people were laid off their jobs. Businesses shut down in 2020. So a lot of like husband-wife teams, we saw that. Guys who were laid off work when businesses closed down, they're like, I've got a truck, I can rent a U-Haul or a box truck or like just like a rental truck, Penske rental truck. And they began taking up shipping as just a self-employment job to keep money coming in. And so there was like an influx of shippers last year. But then what started happening as 2020 kept going, and like we kind of thought Corona was going to go away pretty quickly, and then it didn't. I mean, we're at 2 years into it. Crazy to think, just about 2 years into it, almost. And so a lot of people started working from home. A lot of people started staying at home more. So they started doing things to their house. Like the stimulus checks came in. People started ordering furniture, but not just furniture, all kinds of things online. And so the amount of orders skyrocketed. It just went way up. People that were working from home were ordering office equipment and desks and chairs and sprucing up their offices and, like doing all different types of things to their homes. And people were ordering major groceries from home, all kinds of stuff. Online buying, because a lot of grocery stores aren't going out. People were limited. People were afraid to go out or cautious. So online ordering just went up a lot in the last year, very specifically last year. And I'd say the last 16 months, it's just gone up a lot. And so you had the influx of shippers, but then the demand started going up and up and up, and now what we have is things that you order overseas are getting stuck for months and months on the ships, and people are like, we need to order something locally. So where they might order something that from a furniture company, be overseas, that they know it's going to get stuck, they're like, we could go to places like Etsy and look for some of the things that we need. And so the demand for shipping has gone way up because people are ordering way more things. And that's why shipping is more expensive right now. We've seen it just kind of do this. And so as you're planning your shipping, you're estimating your costs, give yourself plenty of leeway on that, on what you think your estimates will be, and look at your price and like your listing price and whatnot, and say, okay, if my shipping expenses are $200 more than I think they will, am I still going to come out okay on this? That's how I do it. If my shipping expenses are $200 or $300 more, am I still going to come out making at least a decent profit? And so that's the way the weather changes, shipping has kind of changed. And because we are still under the COVID storm, I don't know what that is going to look like. It could be that shippers go back to work to their old jobs. It could be, I don't know. And so, there could be fewer shippers. So we just don't know. But when you're making your listings, keep all these things in mind. Like, you could list a dresser for sale on Etsy now, and you could put in your listing description that it is going to, it'll be shipped out within 4 or 5 weeks. But if it doesn't sell for like 3 months, which could happen, and 3 months from now, if the demand is even higher and shippers are overrun, it may take you longer to get it out, and it may cost you a little more than you think it's going to cost you. So keep those things in mind. This is how you make it when you're shipping nationwide and selling online furniture online is realizing, like, I have to price my items appropriately. And that comes back to finding pieces at good cost. But I'll say this, I will bypass 10 ordinary pieces of furniture to get one good, unique piece of furniture. It pays off. You have much more profit margin. I talked about that in the last video. I'm going to stand by that. Unique designs. Start thinking about the cultures and customer demographics out there who not a lot of furniture artists are really catering to, and they could be looking for somebody to say, like, hey, make something for us. So, I mean, those are definitely things to think about. Oh, I hope this has been a good talk for you. I'm not going to make it drag out forever. I'm going to strive to do another one of these tomorrow. And I'm going to say, I'll tell you, I ordered my mud paint. I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't used this one yet. It's that color. I like it. It came in really, really quickly. So I'll let you know more, and I'll talk to you later.